Oh, this is a mess already. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today is a really special video for me because a few days ago I reached 1,000 subscribers. But to many people that is a very small number, but to me it really means a lot because not only do people watch my videos, but there's 1,000 people, which is a lot of people when you picture them all together. There's 1,000 people who not only watch my videos and sometimes give them the occasional like, but they actually subscribe and continue to watch, and that means that like they're somewhat invested in what I have to say, and this support just feels incredibly validating for me, that people actually care what I have to say about music and records and stuff, and it honestly means so much to me. So honestly, thank you guys so much for all the support and everything. This is it just really means a lot and makes me happy. So I thought to kind of celebrate 1,000 subscribers I would do a little Q&A video. Yeah, so I asked people across YouTube and my Instagram accounts if they had any music related questions or questions specifically about vinyl. I have a handful and I just thought let's go through them. YouTuber Wonderfully Weird asked me a few questions. Thank you for supporting the channel. And the first question they asked is, what is your favourite band or artist? This is a really hard question because, you know, I go through different moods and phases. I think I have to say that my favourite band, even though I haven't listened to them in a while, I think just because of how much I have loved them and how much I've invested time into them, I'd say my favourite band is probably the Beatles, just because, you know, like they've inspired me so much and they've really opened my mind and opened a door into other genres and styles of music. My life would be very different now if I hadn't started listening to the Beatles a couple of years ago. And yeah, they were there for me when I was in a really dark place, so they mean a lot to me. I haven't listened to them as much recently because, you know, just sometimes you're just not in the mood for a certain band or for a certain sound, but I think they are always going to be very special to me. And my favourite artist that isn't a band, I'd probably have to say David Bowie at the moment. Again, he's just been discovering his music recently has just been eye-opening for me, and again made me interested in music that I wouldn't have been interested in before. And it's amazing to see a man who's just so incredibly talented. So yeah, I would say those are like my favourite bands and artists. So yeah. Another question that Wonderfully Weird asked is, what is my favourite colour for coloured vinyl? I'd have to say pink, you know, like really bright, beautiful, like bubblegum pink, because my favourite colour record is my Badlands Halsey record from Urban Outfitters, and you know, it's just so vibrant and lovely, and I love like the marble kind of pattern on it, but it's just such a beautiful shade of pink. And then I also have my Pink Future Nostalgia record by Dua Lipa, and that one is so pretty and beautiful. I could just stare at it forever. Don't get me wrong, like I do have some other really cool colour albums. Like I love my white Station to Station because it's just so simplistic and it's cool. I've got a few cool green ones. I've got a lovely purple vinyl, but honestly I'd say pink is my favourite. My least favourite colour vinyl is definitely red because I think it's just so overdone in my opinion. Like, I've got quite a few red records and honestly I'm just like yeah, it's just personally not as interesting to me as like a pink record. So yeah. Next question from Wonderfully Weird. Since you live in the UK, do Americans like me assume that you love bands like the Beatles, Rolling Stones or other UK bands just because you live there? No, like personally no one's ever assumed to me, like no one's ever like had a conversation with me and been like, oh, you're English, do you like the Beatles or anything? I think that's because number one, I haven't really been around many Americans. I used to live in Australia, but no Australian people were ever like to me, oh, you must like this band then. I think it's different now. I think because we live in an age where, you know, music is so accessible, and you know, I suppose if I'm trying to make sense, back then, you know, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, you know, they were so iconic and they were dominating the music charts all the time, so I think it's easier to assume that you would like the Beatles if you were English back in 1967, whereas now, you know, there's a lot more diversity, and there's like so many artists from so many different countries, and people find music in so many different like areas now that, yeah, I don't think people really assume what other people like based on their nationalities anymore. I hope I made sense with that, but yeah. Next question we have is from the YouTuber Slice of Scott. He said, congratulations on 1k, thank you so much. I just recently subscribed myself. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm introverted and tend to favour deep lyricists like Bob Dylan. What elements of a song cut deepest for you? And what are your favourite songs/albums that exemplify those traits? Honestly, as much as I do love lyrics, and there are a few lyrics in my mind that definitely cut deep for me, I'd say the element of a song that cuts the deepest is the melody, or like the chord progressions. So there's this chord progression that I hear sometimes, and I'm most notably in Coldplay's X and Y, and I think, I could be wrong, I think it's G moving up to E, or it's E moving up to G. It's like those two chords in succession of each other, and it just makes me really emotional. It just really hits me, and I don't know why it does. I love descending chord progressions. I love chord progressions that you think are going to go one way but they actually surprise you and go somewhere else. And yeah, I love you know, I love seventh chords and stuff. Like that little extra flair on a chord that kind of changes how you think it's supposed to sound and really makes it sound fresh. Stuff like that just really cuts deep. So yeah, I'd definitely say melody over lyrics is the stuff that really moves me. And I'd say the songs that most exemplify times where I have been moved by the melody is, again, X and Y by Coldplay, Sewn by The Feeling,
I can't do the walk, I can't do the talk,
Prospects March by Coldplay,
don't you wish that life could be as simple as fish swimming round in a barrel when you've got the gun.
To answer your question, to make long story short, it's normally melody and chord progressions that cut me the deepest, because I'm just like, oh, my heart is hurting and I want to cry. This song is amazing. So yeah. Next question. So from Instagram, the actual real Mr.lol asks, what are my thoughts on classic jazz? Honestly, personally, haven't really listened to much classic jazz. Like, I've listened to a little bit of Miles Davis back for my GCSE exams back in secondary school, and a bit of Gershwin and stuff. It's okay. Like, there are elements of swing music I like. I'm not very informed about it, but you know, Benny Goodman's Sing 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 or Glenn Miller In the Mood, that I like. I don't know if that's jazz or if that's swing, so I'm sorry if that's not right. I like that type of music, but you know, I wasn't a big fan of like Miles Davis personally, and I don't really listen to much jazz, and I don't really like smooth jazz. You know, like it's really not my thing. But to those who are jazz musicians, you know, I know how hard it is to be a jazz musician, as in like I know that it's a hard thing to do, and I really commend you on that, and that's amazing, and keep doing what you're doing, because jazz musicians are insanely talented and insanely impressive. Miguel Martinez _985 asks, do you have a favourite vinyl from your collection? That's really hard. I think in the past I would have been able to have said All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. No, I'm not so sure. I think it's just really, it really depends on the mood I'm in, because I have, you know, my records are all so different from each other. God, I couldn't tell you. I definitely say that All Things Must Pass is like one of my most treasured records, because it's like this beautiful box set. I do love my David Bowie records and my Beatles records, so oof. But then I also love my mixtapes that I've made. Oh my god, honestly I couldn't tell you what my favourite record is. At the Lovable Cretin asks, do you enjoy modern bands with a vintage sound, e.g. The Stripes, or do you prefer a mix? I don't know, like I do, there are a few modern bands who have had albums with like a vintage sound that I really do like. So for example, Harry Styles' music has like a retro feel to it, but like it's very, you could tell it's inspired by classic rock, so that's part of why I love his music so much, especially within Fine Line, like songs like She, Sunflower Volume 6, and then from his first album, you know, Carolina, have like all these influences that I just adore, so I definitely love that. And then Panic at the Disco's second album, Pretty Odd, is very much a 60s love child grandchild, and I adore that album. So I would say, yeah, I do enjoy modern bands with a vintage twist, but I don't purposely go after them. It just happens that they do have that sound. And also I do prefer a mix. Like people have described my music taste as either quite eclectic or really random, because you know, one day I'll be playing like the Beatles, the next day I'm playing DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and then the day after that I'm playing Glass Animals, and then, you know, it's just a full-on mix, I guess. And I like that it's a mix. I like that, you know, it means that I'm quite versatile, and that, you know, depending on the right mood I'll play anything basically. They also asked, which Beatle did beards the best? Well, I know McBeardy is a very popular choice, but honestly, in my opinion, George Harrison does it best. Just think of the Abbey Road beard with the Jesus hair. It's just amazing. I did not like John Lennon with a beard. It was just like, it was just so fuzzy. But yeah, I'd say Paul and George did beards the best, but I think George did it a little better. Sorry McBeardy fans, I do appreciate the McBeard though. Mason_Monsoon asks, what do you think of Neutral Milk Hotel? I've honestly never listened to a song by Neutral Milk Hotel, and I find that hard to say, Neutral Milk Hotel. Yeah, I know that they have an album that's kind of about Anne Frank. I've never listened to it. I know the album cover, but yeah, could not tell you what they sound like. Might give it a go one day, but at the moment, honestly, I don't have an opinion on Neutral Milk Hotel. And next question. So Damien Bang.Vinyl Records asks, what is my most valuable record in my collection? I have to check that. So my most valuable record in my collection is McCartney 3. My version of McCartney 3 was the Third Man Records pressing, the red version, which was limited to 3,000 copies, if I'm correct. It was available on the McCartney US website. I ordered it, I paid maybe $33 for it plus shipping, and then now it's worth £215. However, mine could probably be worth a little bit more than that, because the ones I've seen on Discogs, they were hand numbered and they were in the high thousands, so they were like 1,000 and something, 2,000 and something, whereas mine's 986. So I would say, because mine isn't even in the thousands, it's in the hundreds, it's quite a low number, and therefore I could probably, if I wanted to, sell it for much more than £215, but I wouldn't, because I want that album in my collection. So yeah, my hand numbered red limited edition third man pressing of McCartney 3 is my most valuable record. Hello Katie Panda, who's my friend. Hi Katie! She asks, what is your prettiest record? And I am going to go back to a record I mentioned in this video, which is my Urban Outfitters marble pink Badlands vinyl. It's just gorgeous, and it's my absolute favourite appearance of a record. It's just so pretty. Tyler B240 asks opinions on the Uber Deluxe box set for All Things Must Pass 50th anniversary. It's beautiful. It's actually stunning. Just like the amount of thought and care that went into this box set. I've never seen so much detail and care into any anniversary thing before. Like the wooden box with like the statues of George and the gnomes, plus the extended scrapbook and another book about the recording process, like 8 LPs alongside the like 5 CDs, as well as a bookmark that is made out of the wood that grows on the trees in Friar Park. So beautiful. However, I could understand if it was like £200 or £300, but £860, like no, I can't. I could never justify that personally. Like that's 2 months rent for me. Like I could not pay that. I'd love it so badly, but I just could not. If I was gonna get the 50th anniversary, I would get the like £170 odd 8 LP set, which comes with like the sessions, the new mix, demos and all that. But oh my god, I would love that Uber Deluxe box set, but there's no way I'm paying almost £1,000 for it. Like I think it's really unjustified in my opinion. Yeah, I'm still torn though, because I only got my All Things Must Pass box set 2 years ago. I mean, it's on this channel the day I got it, and I feel like that was so much money, and I don't mind having duplicate albums when it comes to variants on the appearance of the vinyl. So I don't mind having 2 stations where one's red and one's white. That's fine, that's cool. I don't like having an album that's, you know, the original mix and the new mix, because I'm like, well, which one do I like better? If I like the new mix better, then why would I ever play the old mix? And then that's just a record that I've bought and I'm never going to use. And yeah, I could sell it on, but I don't know, I really don't like having duplicates, and I don't like being under stress, which is why I find having 2 Abbey Roads hard for me personally. I'm weird like that. However, I'm gonna wait till the album comes out, listen to the new mix, listen to the sessions, see if it's worth buying, because some of the sessions that are on there, that are included, I do have bootleg vinyl versions that have a few of those tracks, so I might end up not liking the rest of the sessions tracks, and it might not be worthwhile for me. As for the new mix, don't get me wrong, the new 2020 version of All Things Must Pass, the track sounded amazing, and I am intrigued to hear like Let It Down, where I can actually hear the horns properly and not this whole jarbled mess, and I am excited to hear the new sound. However, I do like some of the wall of sound on stuff like My Sweet Lord and Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp, and I don't know, I feel like I'll be torn, but you know what, I'm just going to wait for the album to come out on streaming, listen to all of that, think about it, and then see. I probably won't get it straight away. If I was ever going to get the album, I would wait a few years until the price goes down. I think that's smart, because I am quite happy with my current All Things Must Pass, and if I really do like the new mix, I can just get the new mix on my phone along with the sessions, and then in a few years replace the album. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Nowhere_boys asks, do you like the Grateful Dead? Honestly, I've never listened to the Grateful Dead, so I couldn't tell you, but maybe, who knows, I might check them out one day. Ross.Osage asks, favourite Pink Floyd album, and do you like Bowie's weird first album? I enjoy it, but it's odd. Honestly, haven't listened to too much Pink Floyd. I've listened to Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, and I didn't like The Wall. therefore my favourite Pink Floyd album is Dark Side of the Moon. Who knows, I might listen to The Wall again and get a second opinion because it's been a while since I listened to it, but I didn't enjoy it the first time. But Dark Side of the Moon I think is a masterpiece. I understand why it's so popular and so famous, and it's just so well done. I love it. I need to listen to it more. It is a master. It's incredible. It's incredible. Bowie's first album I just can't stand. I hate it, I'm sorry. It would have been redeemed if The Laughing Gnome was on that album, and I'm not joking, because The Laughing Gnome, as much as it is a meme and it's funny and it's hilarious and it's like, what the hell were you thinking, man? It's a catchy song and I do enjoy listening to it. So if The Laughing Gnome was on David Bowie's first album and not just a single, I would highly consider buying the album, but it's not. So no, I don't like it. I understand it's like avant-garde and kind of vaudevillian and all that, but I hate it. I hate it. I'm sorry. So that's it. That's all the questions I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, thank you so much for subscribing and for 1,000 subscribers. This is amazing. Just so you know, I also have an Instagram account called @recordswithrem where you can see where I have individual posts about certain records. I've posted my whole record collection on there now. Plus, whenever I go on days out that have something to do with music, I always post on there. And please feel free to check it out. So I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys!